Have you ever sat in a room full of people and felt like a ghost in your own skin? Like your existence was just background noise? Nobody sees the storm behind your eyes. Nobody hears the war that never ends inside your head. You laugh, you nod, you even throw in a joke just to blend in, but deep down you're holding back a flood. You've mastered the art of pretending that betrayal didn't shatter you, that love didn't walk away and leave you hollow, that waking up every day doesn't feel like dragging a broken soul through a world that never stops demanding more. You trusted someone with your soul. They dropped it like it was disposable. You gave your best, and life answered with silence. You showed up again and again, even when your chest felt like it was caving in, and no one noticed. No one applauded the fight you gave just to make it to the end of another damn day. That kind of pain doesn't scream. It whispers, it hides, and it changes you. That's the war no one talks about. The one you fight when your hands are shaking, but you still carry the weight. The one where your past drags chains around your future. The one where your mind becomes either your savior or your executioner. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're just tired of carrying what no one else can see. But listen, Stoicism isn't about smiling through agony. It's about standing in the fire and refusing to melt. It's about using that fire to harden your mind into iron. Like Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Your pain, it's not the end. It's the beginning of something ferocious. This isn't a motivational speech. This is your blueprint for war. 5 raw, unfiltered Stoic truths to train your mind to be cold under pressure, silent in chaos, and unshakable when life punches you in the throat. No fluff, no spiritual sugar. If you're ready to rise from the ashes of what tried to destroy you, lock in. Comment below, "My pain forged my power." Like, share, subscribe, because this is where the healing ends and the transformation begins. Now let's get started. Number 1. Detach from the need to be understood. There's a kind of silence that screams louder than words, the silence that follows your truth being dismissed. You open up, you bleed honesty, you expose the most sacred parts of yourself, and they look at you like you're speaking a foreign language, like your pain is inconvenient, like your truth is too complicated for their shallow ears. And that's when the slow poison begins. You start justifying your soul to people who don't even respect your heartbeat. You become a prisoner of their misunderstanding. But here's the shift, the brutal one. The day you stop craving to be understood is the day your chains fall off. Because most people, they're blindfolded by their own trauma. They're too busy wrestling their own demons to see the fire you've walked through. Epictetus once said, "People harm because they're mistaken about what's best, and when their perception is fractured, they project that brokenness on you, distorting your image, painting you with colors you've never worn. You're not misunderstood, you're misseen by the blind. And you don't owe the blind an explanation of the sunrise. There's thunder in quiet exits. There's power in saying nothing while walking away with your dignity intact. Your worth is not up for debate. Let them misinterpret your silence, because silence is where your strength sharpens. When you no longer bleed energy into convincing anyone of your intentions, you start breathing again, fully, fiercely. Because the moment you detach from the need to be understood, you become untouchable. You stop tiptoeing through broken glass to protect their comfort. You stop shrinking to fit their frame. You become a storm that moves with no forecast, calm, precise, and terrifyingly unstoppable. And that's when your mind becomes bulletproof. Number 2. Let go of control. Master your response. You can map your plans down to the last breath. You can love with precision, stay loyal with your whole soul, and tread carefully through life like you're defusing a bomb. But life, it doesn't care. People switch up mid-sentence. Promises dissolve like smoke. The timing gets cruel, the outcomes blindside you, and the things you built start to rot from the inside. And you grip tighter. You clench your fists around chaos, trying to bend reality back into your expectations, only to break yourself in the process. Because that's what control does. It strangles peace. You scream in silence when someone betrays your loyalty. You mentally shatter when your plans collapse without warning. You exhaust yourself chasing stability in a world that was never built to be stable. But here's the truth that scorches. You were never meant to tame the chaos. You were meant to become unshakable inside it. Marcus Aurelius didn't just offer words, he handed us a weapon. You have power over your mind, not outside events. That's not philosophy, that's warfare. You can't stop people from lying. You can't stop the storm from tearing through your life, but you can meet it with stillness. You can stare into the eye of that storm and not blink. You can respond with clarity while everything else loses control. Because when you stop clinging to outcomes, your mind finally breathes. No more overreactions, no more trying to puppet master the universe. Just awareness, just calm, just a man who stands tall in the wreckage while others crumble. Letting go doesn't mean you're powerless. It means you've stopped wasting strength on what isn't yours to carry. You shift from controlling the fire to becoming the flame that doesn't burn itself alive. And that's where true power begins. Number 3, use solitude to build, not to break. There's a silence that doesn't soothe, it haunts. The kind that creeps in when everyone's gone and you're left staring at the echoes of your own thoughts. The kind that drips with memories you tried to bury, mistakes you still taste, and questions that circle your skull like vultures. Most people run. They hide in distractions, drown in noise, cling to company not out of love, but out of fear. Fear of facing their own reflection when no one's watching. But that silence you dread, it's not a grave, it's a furnace. Solitude doesn't break you. It shows you what was already cracked. When the world stops clapping, when the noise dies down, when your phone goes silent, that's when the masks slip. That's when your ego gets cornered. And in that raw stillness, you either collapse from the weight of your own truth, or you rise. Because solitude isn't the absence of life. It's the stripping away of illusions. Musonius Rufus once said, "The soul is strengthened by solitude. Not because it feels good, but because it forces you to grow without an audience. It's not a retreat, it's a confrontation. It's where you sharpen your thinking, regulate your emotions, rebuild your principles, and finally start hearing your own voice above the static. And once you stop fearing that silence, it transforms. It becomes sacred. It becomes a workshop, a dojo, a war room. You start writing, planning, analyzing, dissecting your old patterns and building new armor. You no longer seek company to feel whole. You become whole in your own presence. The world will keep whispering that solitude is loneliness. But they're wrong. If you can master your mind when it's quiet, you'll be unstoppable when the noise returns. Solitude isn't your downfall, it's your rebirth. Number 4, embrace discomfort as a rite of passage. No shortcut leads through transformation. Growth demands pain. Comfort doesn't nurture strength. It bruises you softly, lulling you into stillness while the soul withers beneath the surface. Change tears at your foundation. Healing cracks open wounds you thought were sealed. Starting over shreds your certainty. Worse than all that is the slow death of staying stuck, watching time slip through fingers clenched around safety. We were forged in fire, designed to bleed, to fight, to rise from ruins with grit and steel. Mental strength doesn't arrive unearned. It's etched by midnight battles, by isolation, by brutal truths that cut deeper than any blade. Strength is born not when skies are clear, but when storms rage and you refuse to bow. When everything crumbles, yet you stand, scarred but unshaken. Cleanthes declared, "Lead me, Zeus, and you, Destiny, wherever you have assigned me." This isn't surrender, it's rebellion. It's stepping into chaos, knowing pain awaits, but stepping anyway, because that pain carves warriors from the weak. Comfort kills potential quietly, softening resolve, turning lions into sheep. Discomfort is the crucible, the sacred fire that hones instincts and shatters limits. When you bleed and don't break, survival becomes evolution. Fear of discomfort chains you. Chase it instead. Walk straight into it with open eyes. Take the hits and rise forged like a legend. Number 5. Kill the victim, build the warrior. When life shatters you, the first voice that rises is the victim's, whispering poison. Why me? It begs, clinging to blame like a lifeline, drowning in its own sorrow. It demands sympathy, craving the safety of stagnation. Hurt feels like a shelter, easier than the cold battle of healing. But that voice? It's not a shield, it's a cage. Every second you listen, you lose ground. Pain was never meant to be your prison. You were carved from endurance, forged in the fires of struggle to transform pain into power. Mental strength isn't about wearing a mask of okay. It's about tearing down the walls your past built around you. It's stopping the endless rewind of betrayal, the desperate need for closure from ghosts that never cared. This isn't numbness, it's razor-sharp clarity. Marcus Aurelius nailed it. You have power over your mind, not outside events. The real revolution begins when you let go of what's lost and seize control of what remains. That's the pivot, the uprising. The victim inside, it dies today. The broken version begging for love, drowning in wounds, waiting for someone to fix it. Bury him deep. No debts owed, no more chains. Because the warrior is awake, silent, steady, waiting. When the victim voice falls silent, the warrior steps in, not fueled by anger, but by iron-willed resolve. Strong, focused, untouchable. Type this like a vow. I kill the victim. I build the warrior. Mental strength isn't a trophy handed down or a lesson found in dusty pages. It's forged in the furnace of silence, suffering, solitude, and relentless self-command. Perfection isn't the starting line. Fire is. That fierce flame inside that refuses to beg, refuses to crumble, refuses to blink. The Stoics didn't teach escape. They handed us the keys to mastery over chaos. If something shifted in you today, something primal, undeniable, let it fuel the blaze inside. Share this spark. Light the way for someone else. Subscribe if you're ready to build the unbreakable. Remember this, you're not broken. You're rising, unstoppable, unshakable.